Welcome to the Wexford Football League show. On tonight's show, myself and Nicky are joined by international referee Michelle O'Neill. Welcome to the show, Michelle. How are you keeping?
I'm great. Thanks for very much for inviting me here tonight. It's been a pleasure here.
I suppose you're just fresh from another big game. You had the FAI Women's Cup final, Shelbourne and Athlone. Bit of a dramatic finish into it, wasn't it?
Oh, it was amazing showcase for women's football in Ireland, and it didn't want to end, so extra time penalties, so it's always good just to show the full showcase of women's football in Ireland, and fair play to everybody all the way till the end. And it was it's always an honour to be involved in your own country.
Yeah, I suppose for myself and Nicky, with you, we probably all started on our own journey. I started out management around the same time. You started reffing, same as Nicky. So can you remember the two of us?
I do. How could I ever forget you guys? I learned a lot from you.
Yeah.
I don't know about that now.
All good.
You learned how to close your ears.
Yeah.
So when you started out refereeing, would it be right to say Mark Hogan would have been a big help at the start?
Yeah, he was. Because, we had a couple of crossover referees with the men's league to the women's league. So as a player, I would have had Mark Hogan, Seamus Ryan, and a couple of others refereeing me. So I suppose one of the days Mark came over to me afterwards and kind of probably loved the way I questioned everything on the pitch. And he said, "Do you want to do a beginner's course in refereeing?" And I just said, yeah. I mean, I was always interested in becoming a referee, but he kind of probably just prompted me. And, because I was always saying, like, we should get more referees in the women's league. We should get more and more and more. And it's like, well, if you keep saying that, you just have to do it yourself sometimes, and you just have to cross over. And I tried being a coach a few times. It just didn't sit right. I was very successful in a coach and won a few leagues, but it just didn't feel right. Like, you were managers, you felt that. So
where we belonged.
Yeah, you knew where you belonged. So my very first game as a referee was under 10s in Came, and I remember it so well. And I came home from that after doing 2 under 12s straight after, slept for 3 hours. That was the first time, but mentally draining. But I just felt right. It just felt like, no, this is what I should be doing,
And how long into the refereeing when you started it did you realise there's a pathway for me to go to the next level, and I want to go to the next level? When did that kind of come about? Or?
Yeah, it's quite strange because, like, I didn't give up as a player because I said, right, if it doesn't work out as a referee, I'll still play. But so that was for 1 year. I did the schoolboys, so it didn't interfere with me being a player. And then I went on to doing the youths league in Wexford and the seniors.
Yeah.
And it was when I got the cup final in 2009. I was kind of nominated for the School of Excellence in the FAI. The lads were explaining about, so the School of Excellence in the FAI, got nominated there, got on the panel. Within a year, I was on the panel in 2010 before my training finished. And then within the following half a year, 2011, I became FIFA. But if you bring it back down to 2008, when I first became a referee, I didn't even know there was FIFA out there. I didn't know there was League of Ireland. I just saw Wexford League and improved the referees here.
That was a massive, obviously, jump from when you first started in 2008 to FIFA in 2011.
Yeah.
Like in a 3-year period. That's a savage climb, isn't it?
It was a massive jump. But like, I dedicated so much time within them 3 years to hone the craft of refereeing and to make my mistakes in the League of in the Wexford League before going to League of Ireland.
Yeah.
Because I knew when I jumped in there, the errors, you had to be like 1%. You could not make big mistakes there. So that was a lot of pressure. And then being a female in the men's sport I was under a microscope then as well. So that was added pressure and added kind of vulnerability to me being a referee. But you had to do it. You had to just train harder, do more exercise, do more online training to jump, because once that pathway opened for me,
Were you the first lady on it?
from Wexford.
Your first lady from Wexford.
Yeah.
Was there other ladies in the panel when you joined the School of Excellence?
Yeah, there was.
Oh.
So there was 4 of us that were ladies from around Ireland on the School of Excellence, and at the time then you had Hilda McDermott, you had Paula Brady, Rona Daly. So you remember all
I
them.
remember now when the
you sit
names
and
come
some
back and you say it.
Yeah.
So
So they were all operating at the League of Ireland, and that was the first time I was kind of introduced to a female referee. When I came up to the School of Excellence, they had a talk, and Rona came in and talked about her journey, and I was like, "What journey?" You know, League of Ireland, and then she's FIFA, and then she's doing Champions League games. She's doing like all the qualifying games, and I was like, "Oh, I want to go there." So each step of my journey, I came across people that were already in the area of refereeing, and I was like, right, that's my next step. That's where I want to be. So I had these goals, short-term goals, smaller goals to push and drive towards. And then when I get on the panel and become FIFA, it was just the world opened up. But then again, you're back down to the first level again when you go into Europe. So you're back down doing qualifiers, doing because Ronan and Hilda were, say, grade 3, grade 2, and it was only the elites that had ever gone to World Cups. And I kind of asked the question, well, how do I go to a World Cup? It's like, oh no, you don't dream about that yet, because that will not happen. And I was like, maybe I'm just asking the wrong person the question. So I just saw it on kind of going, no, there is a possibility of me going to World Cups. I will train even more to get there and be the first to actually go there, because it never happened before.
So really, once you got to the School of Excellence, you just thought, I'm going as far as I can go, just like whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the trainer. What would have been average day training for you, even though like?
Yeah, so I train every single day, and then in all different disciplines. So if you think of an elite athlete in terms of all disciplines, so you need to be fast, you need to be strong, you have to have explosivity, you have to have long endurance, you have to have reaction, strength, power. So we train in all these different things. So on a training day on a pitch, you could do agility, speed, coordination, fast feet, and then you do your long sprints, endurance, and then other days you're in the gym, you're doing power, you're doing weightlifting, and then other days you're doing like just kind of like flexibility. So there's a lot of different disciplines that you do, and a lot of different things that were tested on when you go to FIFA level.
How, like, for me, the big part of, say, a lot of the big games you do now is on the line. Like, how do you train for the concentration? Or does that come with your kind of physical training? Because obviously the concentration, the game is 90 minutes long plus. Nowadays it's gone crazy with 10 minutes injury time and things like that. So you could be 110, 15 minutes into a game and you still have to concentrate. How do you train that, or does that come natural?
No, you train for that as well. It started kind of like, if you're training on the pitch, I'd have headphones in, kind of giving me noise, so I'm drowning out, and then I'd have someone giving me instructions through, say, cards or cones, different colours, and each one would represent a different decision. Yeah. So if you showed me a yellow cone, I'd have an offside decision, and you'd flash it, and I'd run, do an exercise. So I'm exerting my exercise, and then I'd have to take a decision. You could throw me 3 or 4 cones. I'd have to remember each different decision at each different cone. So there's that type of perception training, offside trainings. When we go to our sessions in the tournaments, we'd have players, and we'd actually have a full match, and we do simulation of offsides, and do a lot of stuff like that. But then at home here, I kind of have the iPad on the side of the pitch, and we have a online perception for proprioception training. So you're given like a situation where it's like, from is that one offside or not, and how much offside are they? So you're 5 different programs. You have to click within 5 seconds and give your decision, and it moves on. So you don't get replays or replays or replays. It's just like,
Just
boom,
bang.
there you
Instant.
go, instant. And then you have the feeds into a different program. So
So a lot of it isn't just a lucky guess.
no, it's not a lucky guess. I was trained over the years. But sometimes, you know, you have to listen to your gut feeling.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're in a match and you're just like, if you're distracted for a second, you go with your initial feeling
Yeah.
and then just go, yeah. Yeah. So
Like you said, you'd be trained there with earphones in with noise, but can it really replicate some of the hostile stadiums you'd be in, or some of the hostile crowds? Or
no, it doesn't. It doesn't. But it's, you know, you have to really drown out and really concentrate sometimes. On the front, I was looking forward. Because there is a lot of hostile grounds you go to, a lot of noise you don't want to listen to, and it's not very nice. But you know, you have to. You're there for a job. You're there to concentrate. And over the years, it's gone better in terms of protecting us, but it's not there yet. But you know, all we can do is keep pushing, for just our own excellence and our own performance.
yeah, and I think you've explained there the detail in the training. I think that might surprise a lot of people. It surprised me a bit there, and I have to
to
say.
be honest, even
So
the concentration training, I was there.
Are you professional then? Kind of at it? Is it a professional job or is it semi-professional? Or
Like in Ireland, I made myself professional over the last couple of years as the years went on. But no, we're only in an amateur league in Ireland, and you know, you need a job, full-time job, in order to continue. Because at the end of the day, you know, it's your hobby, it's your sport.
yeah,
Well,
But
I suppose we see that with
yeah.
Sean Grant, with Boppy, Alan
Yeah.
Franklin now going through it. The lads maintained a full time job. So how did you become professional then? How did you just
I just
work it?
I just took a career break. Became self-employed a couple of years ago in order to be more flexible. Then took a career break, and I'm just surviving on matches at the moment. And on the other side of things is that I'm an artist, and
Yeah.
I've only recently kind of came out to the public about being an artist. And so hopefully that can coincide with what I'm doing, because it was quite difficult over the years to try and get time off work. And then you're coming back off your shift work, and then you're heading off. I could be in anywhere like Germany one week, and then the next week I'm off Dubai, or I could be anywhere.
Yeah.
And it, you know, it takes its toll on its body. So if you're not really looking after your body, your nutrition, your sleep, your diet, I mean, you know, it's the next level. It's, you know, you're in the top 1% in the world right now, and in order to be at the top, you have to act and live it, dream it, immerse yourself into football, and you all know what that feels like.
Yeah.
So if you're
in
not,
our own little bubble.
yeah, you know, so I just took that on myself, and to push up to the next level, because each year it gets harder. Each year there's people coming knocking on your door, and you're still fighting for that place, for that one. Like there's 300 people on a list, and you want to be that one of out of 55 going, and then you want to be the last man, or the last official standing. You
and
know.
do you think if you hadn't made that brave decision to just solely concentrate on, would you have achieved what you've achieved? Would it be impossible to achieve without going solely to it?
Like I achieved it in 2019. 2019, I was the first ever match official out of Ireland to be in a World Cup final. And then came home, and 2 weeks later I was on the men's Supercup final. First time in history that females were in a match of men. And that was huge. Like,
That was Chelsea.
there was Liverpool and Chelsea,
yeah.
and you know, that match was huge for the world, because we knew that this was the extra added pressure, but this is what we wanted. This is what we were all about. You know, being a female official in a men's dominated sport, this is the barriers you push. These are the ceilings you have to break open.
And did you feel the pressure yourself? Like, obviously leading up to kick off in the stadium, everything going on. Like, did you be honest now? Were you clenching your butt cheeks?
It was quite funny, actually. We were dancing in the changing room because it was funny.
Was every referee do that?
But no, we felt the pressure.
Yeah.
To a certain point, but then we kind of had a chat just beforehand, and we went, look, we've done our work. We've been in the World Cup final. We know our strengths inside out. We know our weaknesses inside out. We know that if the referee switches off, we know how to get her to switch back on. She does the same for us. So what we actually did was we turned to the right around 360 and went, do you know what? Let's go out and show people what we're made of. Let's go out and show why we're here. Yeah. And the nerves just went. And we just went out and we enjoyed every single minute. And so much that it went to extra time penalties.
Yeah, as well, yeah. Another one. All your big games are going that way, isn't it? So.
But
they're getting full value out of you and then big games.
Yeah.
And just take it back a little. When did you have to make the decision to become an assistant referee rather than a referee? Or I asked the boys here last week, they didn't really answer me. Is that decision made for you, or do you have to make that yourself?
It is and it isn't. So coming on to the League of Ireland, if you show really strong personalities for a referee, they will just put you straight in as a referee. If you show strong leaderships as an assistant, they will put you in an assistant's role. And it's up to you then if you want to do it or not want to do it, and you train that way. At some point, if you're not happy with being an assistant, you can actually kind of go.
Cool. But it's funny you say that, because you can see definitely yourself and Boppy have a different personality to Sean.
Yeah.
And Sean is in the middle the whole time, and I'd even kind of put Alan kind of more to Sean's side. Yeah. I think Alan would be more of a referee than assistant, well, it is assistant referee, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So it's funny that you say it. It's the personality kind of dictates what way you go. Then obviously each one of you have to have a level of ability. So then, your personality dictates whether you're going to be in the middle or on the line.
It's 100%. We all, like referees, we all have different traits. We all have different strengths, and we all have weaknesses. And it's up to you to really push your strengths, work on your weaknesses to get them right up there with them. But like for me, I fell into the assistant role, and within a year, there's a badge opportunity. And when there's a FIFA badge opportunity, you can't really turn that down, because that's once in a lifetime. That's like the pinnacle of your career. So if any of the lads have been offered any of the FIFA roles, you do not say no to, because that's the once and only time that you might be asked. Mm-hmm. So you fell into that role, and then you kind of go, I love this, I'm wanting to be here.
And which would you find harder? On the line, I think on the line probably would be, for me, if I've never done it, but I like just in the middle.
I'll get you out next year.
Especially in the bigger games, when you're involved, like in the middle, like I suppose they say there's nowhere to hide, but there probably is a little bit. But if you're on the line, I think it is tougher, because it's the offside decision is so fine. It's not the referee calling that; it's you. And they're always the controversial ones, aren't they? Whether they're on or off. So, would you agree? Is the line on the line is more difficult?
If you think about it, offside is factual.
Yeah.
To a point. Then we have one offside that's interpreted, interfering or not. Mm-hmm. So most of decisions for offside is factual. And if you're not in the right position, you can't give the right decision. Yeah. It's cutthroat. It's as simple as that. If you're not up with play, you can't give the correct decision. If you're, so there's fine lines, fine margins with assistant refereeing. If you're not at the end line, you can't see the hairline goal. Yeah. If you're, so it's all about angles. It's all about speed. Our fitness test is actually faster than the referee's test, but they have to run longer in endurance than an assistant. So that's tailor
So your sprinting has to be quicker than a referee, but they have to have better endurance.
Yeah, so it like
On details,
on average.
Surprised Aidan.
Yeah.
He thought you just went out every week with a whistle.
So
See, it shows how much respect he has for you.
No,
no, it's I
I'm
wouldn't
only
call it
messing.
respect. I'd call it just different knowledge.
when
Yeah,
you go
I
to a
suppose,
higher
yeah.
level, like it's treated as a
Profession.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Well, I suppose it is a profession in a lot of the professional leagues around the world, isn't
yeah,
it? Like
most
England,
of them
France,
are
Germany,
professional.
all of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, you know, you go to England, they're all semi-professional or professional. In the MLS now in America, they're bringing it up, and there's a lot more females getting professional now in their leagues, and it all comes back down to doing that Supercup final.
Did that thought ever
Because-
cross your head and move into a professional league, or did the opportunity?
It's quite difficult because then you're giving up your country,
Yeah.
do you know? And I'm FIFA for Ireland. Do you know? I can't become FIFA for.
Yeah, but if
England.
you were to go to a different league and get a full time job out of it, do you know, like, and get well paid, like Mark Clattenburg there a few years ago, he skipped
Yeah.
off to Dubai,
So
didn't he?
if you move to the England League, you'd lose your FIFA
Yes, that is.
credential.
Yeah.
But if you could get into a league job, could you get a full time job?
I never
You never
tried.
thought of it.
I never tried
See, there you
because
are now, Michelle.
there
There's
you
your
go.
full-time
Nicky's
job.
trying to get rid of you.
I suppose I just went after the World Cups, you
Yeah.
know, and the Olympics.
Well, you've achieved
and-
all them now,
Yeah.
haven't you? So
Yeah, so
Just you're trying harder, Nicky.
yeah, yes, isn't it?
I know, but
But-
just saying.
But going back to the Super Cup, it opened up doors for all female officials around the world, and that's thanks to UEFA by, you know, yes, us for performing the way we did, but them opening up the doors for us also, because like if you keep knocking on the doors, you will open them, and then to keep them open now is what we're trying to do. And then going back to your question is like that was all in 2019. I was exhausted by the end of December of 2019, and that's when I made the decision. And then COVID helped me, but you know,
Yeah.
I have to see an upside because that was when I was kind of transitioning. Should I give up work again? Do I have to go for another 4-year campaign? Because that's how long the campaign is for a World Cup.
Yeah.
And then you're pushing your limits. You're pushing your body. You want to be the best. You want to show the best. And you know you need to like I was training coming up to say the Olympics in Tokyo. I was training 3 times a day, and training climatizing training as well, because you're going off to Japan and we're living in Ireland. Like you know,
I suppose
train
there's a
for that.
difference.
But you know I you know, and all the training is my own training. You know, I go to Cork for group training once every 2 weeks, or Dublin once every week. But every other training is all funded by myself. You know, so
Yes.
you're training and you're trying to get the best out of your training. Now we do get our training plans from a FIFA coach and from the national coach, which really is amazing. And we follow that plan. And then they're like big brother though, because we have the GPS system, we have the polar watch system, so they're watching absolutely everything we do. And then all our matches are being monitored and watched, and we're all being scored on our matches as well. So that all feeds into FIFA, and that's how you stay on the list, and that's how you get promoted, and it's full circle again, you know. So
You mentioned the Olympics there, and you done a World Cup as well. Is there much difference in the tournaments with the World Cup just being solely football, but the Olympics being a multi-sport? Is there difference for you, or are you just concentrating on the football and in the football world of the Olympics?
yeah, we're in camp, we're a separate camp then as well with just the match officials. But the difference is like it's the men and women's competition in the Olympics.
Yeah.
The men's is the under-23s, but the women are the full internationals, the national teams, and but we are all in the same camp, so that's cool to integrate and to train together, and you know there's always a bit of competition, you know, so it's great, and but we are just football, so we just concentrate on all them games as well. So
Did you get to go to any of the big events when you were over there, the 100
No,
meters
it was-
or anything like that?
it was COVID, so
Oh yeah,
yeah, we were in.
So, gee, yeah.
That was my down point of COVID, but
Yeah.
but we were just hotel bound and then just went out for games.
what does the tournament entail for you? When does it start? Like, when do you go to the tournament, and
Yeah,
what does the weeks entail?
So say for the World Cup, this one
Medal.
here. So
It's heavy.
yeah.
It's heavy.
So we were out in Australia, New Zealand for 47 days in total. And that was for 2 weeks beforehand, before the first day. And you just get into camp. You do like classroom work. So you're doing a seminar. You have like 3 hours in the classroom, going through all day and making sure the laws of the game are up to speed, making sure the tournament regulations, and then you're doing video tests. You're doing written tests. You're doing all analysing of all the different teams. We have our own analysts of coaches, so we know all the players, all the teams inside out. And we do all that homework, as we call it. And then we're training, and then you have a fitness test, and then you train every single day, and then you've classroom in the afternoon every single day. So you're in the bed nice and early, fed and watered, so you can get up and do it all over again every day for 2 weeks. So, and this time we actually did a Ref Cup. So it was a tournament of the local leagues that came in together, and they put on a tournament, so we couldn't do VAR, and we all refereed half a game. Well, each team that were there in the World Cup. So then we had making sure the system works, and then making sure our protocols are all up to speed. And we got to do, myself and Cheryl and Franca got to do the final of that one, the final half of the final half game. So it was like happy days.
Nice one.
And you're saying you tests, written tests and fitness tests. Do the results in them then detail how far you go in the tournament, or is it match related?
Yeah, it kind of determines who gets the first couple of games, you know. So if you're not ready, if you're not mentally or physically ready, they'll
won't get
give
the
you.
game.
But it could be just because of jet lag, it could be because of nerves, it could be because of so many different elements that you can't control. And then they'll make sure that everyone is the same, and everyone has the same understanding of the laws, everyone has the same fitness. So then they can gauge who's ready, who's not ready, or who needs an extra bit of time, because everyone is ready. We're already tested.
Yeah.
You bring that all the way back then to January of the year, and we go out to the somewhere like Qatar, and you're put under your fitness test, written tests, analysing tests, VAR tests, everything in a 4-day weekend, and you're just bombarded, and you have to be 100% ready for that. And that's when it starts, you know, and then you go back 2 years, 3 years before that. That's when it really starts, that they're monitoring you. And so, yes, once you're nominated, it doesn't mean that you're going, you know. So there's a lot of stake. That's why you're kind of in this bubble for the last 10 years. It's not just 1 year or not just a season. You're on point for years, you know.
So you land out just before the tournament starts. You only find out a couple of days beforehand what game you're getting, don't you? So whether you get a group game, a quarter final, then is only after the group games are done. So you're kind of landed on it a little bit, would you be?
Yeah, so the announcement of games are 2 days before the game, and that's it. You have to be bags packed, ready to fly wherever you're going. So you have to be kind of just ready all the time. So yeah, it's kind of quite weird. You're unpacking and living in a hotel room for this many days, but you still have an overnight bag packed for your matches. So it's quite surreal sometimes, but I normally make my room my own and have loads of photos from home, and you know, so you're kind of settling in and kind of whatever you can do. I normally rearrange the furniture in the whole room anyway, so you know, so I can do my flexibility or whatever.
And in the tournament scenario, is there a big competition among yourselves to make sure you're getting the games?
Oh yeah, there would be, like, because you're going out there, and we're all team one. That's why they have it on the top here, because at the end of the day we're team one. The one match official going out there representing every other match official. So you have this kind of inner pressure of to perform, not to make any mistakes, and to facilitate the game as best as you can for the two teams to be in the best environment they can. And you know, there's this sense of togetherness as well. But you do know that if you make a mistake, that's it. You could go home tomorrow, and that's cutthroat that way. You know, if you go out, you make the biggest decisions have to be spot on. If you get a wrong throw in, maybe they mightn't be too hard on you, but you know, if you don't give a penalty or if you don't give an offside, or you know, the huge match decisions that you give, that's when it's like, you know, coming home, yeah, that could be my ticket home.
Yeah.
And it's horrendous. Like it's you know, and you're like, you could have just switched off for a second, and that's why you can't. My pre-match is just so regimental when I'm in tournaments, and this has to go right. This is what I do, and I bring it all the way back to the first minute I get that appointment. I'm already in match mode.
And how's you done the Champions League final as well? How does that differ? And do you find out you're getting that, and do you meet up with a team beforehand, long before it, or?
No, you kind of get a week and a half before, because they'll just want to release it to the media. So once you get that, it's amazing, because you've already worked in your trio for the year, for the campaign. So this trio that we got the Champions League for, it's another one. It's amazing. I've been really working for that one for 10 years. But yeah, so it's harder to get some of the club tournaments. But we were already on the Euros together, and in the Euros in England, and we got all the way to the semi-final, and we couldn't get to the final because England went to it. So that was kind of disappointing, but again, you'd never give up on something, so we kept pushing and kept be together. So then the Champions League, we are together again. So we already knew the trio we were working with, and then you just get together the day before, you fly out, and then you have all the meetings and training together, and then you go out and do your stuff, you know. So.
And where was that final played?
In Eindhoven. Yeah, so it was Barcelona against Wolfsburg. Yeah, it was a great match.
You said you were working on that for 10 years. What do you mean by that? Like, that was your ambition when you got to the elite level to get a Champions League final?
Yeah, when I was in UEFA, the first kind of matches I got was, say, the very first rounds of Champions League. So the likes of the, you know, Peamount and Wexford Youths that went out to the Champions League.
Yeah.
So they were kind of my very first tournaments. And I remember being in one in Cyprus somewhere and kind of going, oh, this was amazing. I want to get to the final of this. And, you know, so when I got this one, it kind of was 10 years in the making, you know. So it was pretty sweet, like, because you kind of, it's the elite of the elite get the finals, as I said to you before. So. And
is there something you haven't done yet that you want to do in the refereeing? As in tournament-wise or match-wise?
Olympics final. And the Euros final.
And the Olympics coming up next year.
England can't get to it.
that'll be every one of them then.
And just not be fair going. And with the Olympics next year, when will you find out you're in that, or what's the process to get into that?
It's really tough, because it's as I said, you have to be in the top 2 or 3 teams in the world in order to be selected. So we won't know till January, February to start that process then. And I don't know either, because I don't know how many Olympics an official is actually offered either. So, you know, so yeah, we'll just pray to the gods for that one.
That'll come along.
Yeah, you know, so, but yeah, as you said, like, the World Cup this year was huge. But it's also sweet because Ireland were there, you know, for the first time ever in history.
Yeah.
And I was in their opening game in the stadium, and the national anthem was playing, and the crowd just went silent, and then the start playing the national anthem, and you hear the Aaron Aveen, and everyone's singing it, and you're just like tears in my eyes, and all my colleagues were like, "Why are you crying?" I was like, "You don't know." So yeah, that's something special. On that
and since you started out in 2008, what's the biggest difference you've seen?
I've seen the massive growth in women's football, but also seen the growth in the amenities they're given and the space that they're given. But it's still only at a small level. You know, we still need to push more. But there's at least now there's more of a voice. There's more campaigns like See It, You Can Be It, and can't see, can't be, and it's a big massive push for women in sport to be equal, and you can even see that through the national team. You can see through the Wexford League when I refereed the very, very first the Wexford National League, or the National League team with Wexford against Castlebar, and there was like 800 people at, and there was only 6 teams in it, but now there's 11, so you can see the growth, and you can see, like, I think what really got me was when the small kids on the going around the town, and they're wearing the jerseys, and they're holding on to soccer balls, and that's pretty class, because they're obviously there's a growth there, but we do need to keep growing it, and especially with the Wexford League now bringing in I can't remember the name of it, but developing the whole thing that they're doing is going to be massive. Like,
well, and with Wexford FC then going into the community side of stuff as well, it's inclusive to everybody. So and then the game should be really, shouldn't it? So I've 3 daughters, and Roisin was a footballer herself. So the other 2, well, one is a bit young, the other one had no interest. So
sure, he might be your referee.
maybe so.
Yeah, I looked at school. Girls has got massive in our club. It's nearly outgrown the school boys at the moment. It's just, I think it's massive, but I think a lot was down to the women's team and yourself. Interesting talking to Alan last week as well about the School of Excellence and all. Big thing I'm getting on, and you can tell me I'm totally off here. If there is a young chap or young girl out there now wanting to make that Elite 11 referee, do they really have to concentrate on the refereeing rather than playing maybe again 25, 26, 27? Because like Alan frightened me when he said he was the oldest at 33.
33,
in the...
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I would have told my younger self was to start earlier, because I knew a couple of years before I actually hung up my playing boots, I kind of knew I should have hung them up earlier. But we just didn't have enough people on our team, so we didn't have the squad there. So you're kind of going, wait till the team builds up. But now the opportunities for everyone is huge. It's a lot more, and that's what Alan is alluding to. You go in earlier. If you know you're not going to have a really an elite career in playing, why not go and try? Because you can still play and still go in a different league.
Yeah.
That's what I did. You go in a different league. If you like it, if you progress, go for it, because you can become FIFA at the age of 23, assistant refereeing, and then you can become a FIFA referee at the age of 26. So, I'm trying to say, I've always said it, that if the school gone age, like, you can be 16 when you do beginner's course. So it's like, why not be in 6th year and be a referee for the underage, or for the school's 1st year team, or on a Saturday morning the youths. I mean, why not? I mean, and you already develop your refereeing skills then, and then you already develop kind of a love for it. It's a different type of love, I can't explain it until you're actually immersed in it. I mean, it disciplined me. It got me bigger goals. It got me to World Cups, Olympics, European Championships, you name it. Like, I've been in the 4 corners of the world, all because I made that choice to go over to being a referee, because I always wanted to be elite in playing. I played for county level. I played GA as well for county level. I never quite pushed to the next level. So if you feel that that's where you want to go, and you're not getting anywhere with the playing, why not? Just try it. And yeah, there's huge opportunities now, especially in the women's level. There's huge opportunities. There's so many doors can be opened for you, like, and they're there if you want them, you know.
And question Nicky asked Sean and Bobby the other day, the stadiums around Ireland, which one do you prefer and which one do you not like going to?
Yeah, I really, to be honest, grass is grass for me. But like the likes of turning up to Tala Stadium, who doesn't want to be in Tala Stadium?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, especially when the extension built and all that,
yeah,
isn't
the
it?
atmosphere, and you know, and then there's other grounds where you're like in a bubble, and the you know, your flag could be even grabbed or your hair could be even touched, and you're like, oh, do I want to be here? But yet the atmosphere is electric. So you have all of them, all the, you know, you have your St. Pat's and you have your Bows, like, and you know, but then you know, you still have the crowds that we get out in Wexford is cool, you know, and this have to be built on
It's
it.
too wide open though, isn't it?
It's way too.
create an
It's too
atmosphere,
windy
it's-
there. My flag to be blowing everywhere.
I was
No.
going to say my hair, but that doesn't blow a whole lot anymore. But no, it's too.
No.
It is.
Yeah.
I'd love Ferrycarrig to be that little bit tighter and smaller, and it would
Yeah.
create, like, you look
Yeah.
at Turner's Cross,
Yeah.
Dalymount, Talca, all of the proper football grounds.
Yeah,
Like,
it creates the atmosphere,
yeah,
and it
keeps it
creates the crowd.
trapped in.
It does, yeah. Like any of the stadiums like that, but you know, there's improvement for everyone, and there's improvement for all. So it's just like, again, it's getting the back in, it's getting the people in, and it's getting bums on seats, as they say. Do you know? So, yeah, it's huge, like, and it's great for mental health, and it's great for people to be involved. But again, it's getting out there, getting out to the matches. You know,
Yeah.
it's the same with the Wexford League. It's getting out to the matches and being there. You can't experience that from a telly, you know.
True.
Yeah, and yeah, so just go through the tournaments you've done again. You've done a World Cup, Olympics.
Yeah, so I've done. So you can start by the Euros. So I've done the 2 Euros. I've done you've done the FIFA World Cups under 20s. I've done the final of one of them as well. One of them brought me to Papua New Guinea, of all places. Then World Cup finals. Then the World Cup third place final this year. Champions League final. The men's Supercup final. You done the Olympics.
The women's FAI Cup final this
The
weekend.
women's
gone.
FAI Cup final. I've done about 8 of those. And I've done 2 men's cup finals, the FAI Cup finals, the President's Cup final, the Santa Cup final, League Cup final. Yeah, done a lot. Done the Wexford League Cup final, under 10s, schoolboys.
Who was in the
under
Wexford League Cup
12s.
final, the one you did?
Shamrock Rovers and North End.
That was before you. I
Yes.
remember
No.
that one. No, it was before
When was
you.
that?
North End were in Division 1 at the time.
2009.
Yeah, North End were in Division 1 before your time.
North End were in Division 1 at the time.
They were, yeah. Just before all the players came back from Wexford.
North End beat us in the cup final in Division 1.
You was in the Premier there. in
Do you
Division
need a
1.
referee, lads?
Where will we get one?
Your favourite moment so far?
The Women's World Cup
Cup,
final in France 2019, because I'll never forget it, because standing in the tunnel, I normally visualise, so a little story, I normally visualise every match before I actually go out and do the match. So I'm just like making sure I know all the players and do some situations, and then I feel like I'm ready. So it wasn't working. My visualization was not working. I kept pausing in my head, and for 2 days before the match, and I was like, no, maybe tomorrow. Oh no, maybe, and I keep trying it. So it didn't work. So I just had to forget about it. And so I would just text home, and I was like, something wrong with me, you know. And they were like, no, hold on a minute now, just calm down. You do realize that you're normally visualizing for your dream. This time you're actually stepping out into your dream. And when I came to the tunnel, shook Megan Rapinoe's hand and said, she was like, are you ready for this? I was like, oh, I was born ready, and turned around, and just the stadium was just electric with fans. There was like noise. There was just like, it was just unbelievable. The chills was going down my body, and I was just standing there. Then the team of the anthem just started, and we were leading out the team, and that was the moment of, oh, this is why I couldn't visualize, because I'm actually stepping out into my dream right now, and I'm stepping into the realization of, I've made it. This is it. This is what I worked all them years for. This is everything coming together, and now it was just a time to go out and enjoy every single minute, because I knew it would only feel like 10 minutes, and it did, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, then when the final whistle came and I had a tear in my eye, and the other assistant was like, dry your eyes, not yet, wait till you go inside. But yeah, I was like, so yeah, I'll never forget that moment, and was so proud to come home and know that I've opened pathways and for others in Ireland, and just to celebrate that moment. Yeah.
Yeah, and listen, to achieve it, we all know to achieve, and you have to have a passion. You have a big passion for it. So just before we finish up, what would you say to any young person out there, or any person that wants to reach the elite level at refereeing or assistant referee? What's the big thing they have to do?
Do you know, one of the biggest advice I could tell the person is just to be yourself first and foremost, and never to give up on it, and just persevere through whatever obstacle you come through, because there's always a way around it, over it, under it, or right through it. And that's it. Like, you know, you just pick your dream, pick if you want to come as a referee or even a player, it doesn't matter. It's just being it, and just living it, you know, and just never giving up on it.
Yeah, look, I also brought us in a jersey tonight, so thanks for that. Appreciate it. It's great to be sitting beside a World Cup medal here all night. I won't let Nicky get near it. I just want to thank you for coming in, and I just think your passion for it is amazing, and I think your dedication to it, and I think you've taught me anyway that the little bit of detail into the training and what goes into it is amazing. So fair play to you.
Yeah,
Thank
and the
you.
same as Michelle. Congratulations on everything you achieve, and I really hope you go on and you tick them 2 last boxes you have there for yourself, and the very best of luck with it in the future.
Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers, Michelle. Thank you.
Very best
Thank you,
of luck to you
Michelle.
as well.